faint whispers in the dark to the voices that bridge the gap between worlds, this is where science meets the supernatural. Welcome to EVP Explorations with Todd Bates, the show dedicated to the mysteries of electronic voice phenomenon and spirit communication. Each week, we dive deep into the art and science of capturing spirit voices, uncovering the unknown through informative interviews, in-depth discussions, and hands-on techniques to teach you the craft of EVP recording. Join us live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central, right here on the Sacred Spiral Network, where the voices of the past come to life and the journey into the beyond begins. Now here is your host, Todd Bates.
Speaking of that, now that we're not muted,
Was we muted that whole
we
time?
were muted the whole time.
Oh, great.
Things happen. Anyway, welcome to EVP Explorations, folks. I'm your host, Todd Bates. With me right here, of course, is my Sherry. And you missed a lot, really. Not really. We were just telling you what was going on with the show, what was going on with us and things. But thanks for joining us here. And what we're going to do tonight, we're going to get into classifications and everything here in a little while. But first, Sherry, she's here to share her experiences that we had at a local cemetery. And we're going to listen to her experience and kind of go over what happened out there. It's pretty profound and well, it's amazing at what happened. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And then we have a video we're going to show you where we recorded out there at Baker to kind of set up an EVP session. Those of you that can hear now. Oh, it's one of those days. But we made a little video for you guys to watch to kind of give you an idea. Those of you that are new or want a refresher course, just bear with. I'm a little rusty, and there's some things in there that I'm no cinematographer. I'm not in this for the fame and fortune, folks. I've been in this freaking 2 decades plus for the people, for the research, for the camaraderie, for the discussion. That's why I'm here, man. That's why I'm here. And that's what keeps me going. Now, honey, we made an announcement yesterday.
Yep,
It
did.
was a pretty big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal. Her and I are getting married, folks. We haven't set a date. She said yes yesterday. A lot going on with that. A lot of relief off my shoulders. My goodness, I was so nervous. It was terrible. But it all worked out just fine. And that's the big news. So thank you all for all the congratulations, all the messages, all the emails. Oh my goodness.
My fingers are tired from saying thank you, thank you, thank you.
For going through all the lights.
That love, that was awesome.
It's right. Oh my goodness. It brings tears to your eyes. I mean, there's so much going on in today's world, and to have a moment like that you can just set aside and make the time to do it, because life's just too damn short.
It surely is.
Really is, honey. So thank you everybody for the great messages and things. And let's get some hellos going here, honey. My goodness. We got Michael Christopher. How you doing, Michael?
Hi, Michael.
And Mr. Randy Bolin. How you doing, Randy?
Hi.
Good to see you, buddy. And of course, Stanley has arrived.
Hi, Stanley.
And Mr. Randy Liebeck himself is here.
Hello, Randy.
Oh my goodness,
Lots of
Randy,
people's
great to see
coming
you.
in.
Great to see you. Chris Stan, of course. How you doing,
Hi,
my
Chris.
friend? And yeah, they're trickling in here. My
Yes, they
goodness,
are.
Donna Tilly, thank you so
Hi,
much.
Donna.
Thank you, everybody, for the congratulations. There's a lot going on, and
Yep.
it's good stuff. A lot going on with EVP Explorations. So all I can say is check out the website. It's been revamped. It's been totally, completely rebuilt, and it is ready for you. Free EVP courses, free paranormal courses, stuff like that. Sherry's been through them. They're a lot of fun. You know, they're a lot of fun, and they're free, which is what's important. I'm very firm that the craft of EVP, which some researchers, and it's sad for me to say this, they say it is dying or it is dead. I disagree. I think now is the time for EVP. It really is. EVP, it's its own animal, honey.
Science has come so far.
It has in technology.
Yes.
You can't keep up with it anymore. So why not use, like I always say, today's technology with yesterday's methods?
Of course.
You never know. So it's worth a shot. It really is, folks. So get out there, do some recording. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break here. It's 5 after. We're going to take just a quick break. We come back. Sherry is going to share her experience about out there at Baker Cemetery. You guys, your mind is going to be completely blown after this. Holy cow. So stay tuned. More EVP Explorations on the way. We'll be right back.
Brace yourself for the Paranormal Rockdown, July 18th and 19th, 2025 at the haunted Broadhead Manor. Friday night, rock out with Dead Amsterdam, Left on Red, and headliner Green Jelly. The music may not be the only thing shaking these walls. Rumor has it the spirits love a good beat. Will you meet one? Saturday, meet paranormal legends like Dave Schrader, Sam Baltrusis, and more. Enjoy thrilling workshops, tasty treats, and a live Zoom Q&A with Dustin Perry. Dive into the ultimate paranormal investigation with expert guides. Or join a spine-tingling seance with Sam Baltrusis. Tickets are limited. Get yours now for an unforgettable weekend of music, mystery, and chills.
Welcome back, everybody. EVP Explorations Live right here on Sacred Spiral Network. I'm with Sherry here, my beautiful Sherry. And what we're going to be discussing here is our local adventure to a local cemetery, which now has, thank goodness, a dusk to dawn rule, because we always go out there during the day. And you had an experience, honey.
Sure did.
I took you out there. We went out there for the first time. First of all, walking in, those of you that aren't familiar with it, it's not your average cemetery. I know you think of a cemetery. This place is alive. It really is. It's alive with activity. It's different than most. It has a story behind it. It has a lot of history. It's a very old cemetery, and it is the resting place of Elizabeth Betsy Reed and her husband Leonard, who she supposedly murdered.
Correct.
She poisoned him with sassafras tea. And we like to go there often. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It gets us out, and it gets me more familiar with, getting back out there in the field again as well. But we went there for the first time, honey. I mean, going up there and at the front of the cemetery, what did you think? What did you feel?
I felt a little eerie feeling as we were walking up to the cemetery.
Yeah.
Mind you, there's stones that are so old you couldn't even see what's on the stone.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very old cemetery out in the middle of the boondocks.
Yeah, it is. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. And what we did is we made our way back to Betsy and Leonard's resting place there. and we did a session. This is before the video we're gonna show you now, but we did a session the first time we went there, and you heard something, honey. What did you hear?
Oh my. I was using my dowsing rods and asking yes and no questions. Just simple yes, no questions. However, I asked a question and I didn't get an answer, of course, but I did get in my right ear, I heard Michael. And it startled me. It did. It startled me.
Well, I bet.
But however, it sounded like my mother's voice. She has been gone for about 9-10 years now. And
Okay.
it sounded just like my mother's voice. And as it turns out, my mother gave a child up for adoption so many years ago, over 50 years ago. I come home and wrote on our dry erase board up there, "Who is Michael?"
Yeah.
I wanted to know what that meant. It bugged me so much. I'm like, I got to get to the bottom of this. And so, the very next day, I get a text on Facebook PM. "Sorry to bug you, but my name is Michael, and I believe I'm your brother." And so it begins. I now have a relationship with my 52-year-old brother.
Now, stranger things have happened, I'm sure, folks. But when you're out there in the middle of nowhere in a cemetery, you hear the name not Michael, and then the very next day, you find out that that is your biological brother.
Profound.
It's beyond compelling on what is exactly what is on the other side and how they communicate with us, because that was obvious. She heard that with her naked ear.
Yes.
Therefore, it wasn't an EVP, folks, of course, more of an what's called an ENP, or electronic noise phenomenon, to where something, perhaps her mother is her guide, maybe,
Something.
whisper in your ear, anything like that. Hearing the name Michael and then having that happen, it's almost as if it's a message and a premonition at the same time.
I can't explain how profound it is to me to this day, yet I just can't get over it. It's like, wow.
So, for obvious reasons, folks, that has become quite the favorite place for Sherry and I.
Yes, indeed.
Because of that goodness. Everybody thinks cemeteries are bad, and they are. To go out, you do a full blown investigation or something. Don't go kicking up dirt and sand like that.
No.
It's just her and I going out there. That's all it is, folks. So, with this happening, the electronic noise phenomenon, you never know what's going to happen in an area. You never know what is going to conspire manifest. Good word, honey. From upon your arrival, you never know what's going to happen. So you have to be in check. You have to always be in tune with yourself when you're out there. Sherry loves dowsing rods. I love dowsing rods. I think they're amazing tools. Those of you that haven't used them, we'll do a show on dowsing rods.
Wonderful.
They're fantastic because they're beyond in tune with the spirit realm somehow, some way. I don't know. It's very, very interesting. But using those, it's almost as if, and Sherry's very empathic as well. She's very sensitive to certain things and so forth. So that may also help, because I close myself off. I try to be as sensitive as a brick because I have enough going on. So I don't want any chit chatter in my head, but it's good. It's good. And Evelyn has got a comment here. She says, "The living are scarier than the dead." Glad to see you both together. Thanks,
I agree
Evelyn.
with that, Evelyn.
Yes. Yes, that is absolutely. And that's what you have to fear, is the living, because they have a tendency to screw things up. But what we have here, honey,
sure,
we made him a little video. We did some recording out there.
Yep.
Now, again, we're not cinema photographers, or I'm not...
no lighting special stuff, no special effects.
There's nothing special here, folks. It's just, it gives you an idea of how to set up an EVP session, because tonight we're going to be discussing analysis, how to properly analyze your EVP, and we're going to even get into proper ways to share them and the ethics behind sharing them. All kinds of fun stuff going on tonight. So if you have any questions, feel free to post those in the comments, and we'll get those addressed here. But what we're going to do is we're going to watch this video here, honey. I'm going to get it set up.
Cool.
And what we're going to do is get the video set. And then what I have coming up here as well, when we get into classifications, is the AB system, of course. And I do have a class A, B, and C EVP that we're going to play. And that way you guys can see the differences with those. But first, here's our latest adventure to Baker Cemetery. Hopefully you guys enjoy. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We're at Baker Cemetery outside of Palestine, Illinois. It's February 3rd, 2025. Sherry and I are out here to do a brief EVP session. And we brought an analog recorder, we brought a digital recorder, and a spirit box. We traveled light, as you can see. I practice what I preach. You travel light when it comes to these. And we're going to be doing a stationary session and a question and answer session as well, so you guys can see. So if you could see by the cemetery, it's quite old. It's been here quite a while. It has a dusk to dawn rule, so please respect that. When you do come out here, leave it as you came. If you see any trash, pick it up. But we're going to be doing the sessions here in just a moment. We'll get set up here real quick, and then we'll be right back to do this. Okay, we got settled in. This is the spirit box we're going to be using here shortly. We may or may not film this. We have our external microphone, of course, and our cassette recorder. And I'm going to show you guys how to preload this and set this up with the cassette recorder. Due to the mechanical noise inside and stuff that this generates, you need to have an external microphone and keep it about 3 feet away from the recorder. And all you do is simply grab your microphone's cord, plug it into the microphone jack. It's that simple. And I'm pointing the microphone just to an open area, a general area. And what we're going to do is preset the recorder. And to do so, you want to hit pause. Okay. You want to go ahead and select your record play. This one has a button. You hit both, hit pause, and you're preloading the recorder. So it's ready to go for your stationary or question and answer session. So we're going to let that sit. And what we also have is a standard digital recorder. It's always good to have 2 devices recording. Less is more, but in this case, it covers a wider radius, and we may capture something on analog that we don't capture on digital, and vice versa. So we'll have this set up as well, and I'll probably put that on the headstone just to keep a good distance between all the recorders. Normally it's pretty disrespectful to put anything on a headstone like that, but this is a temporary situation. It's not going to hurt it. We're just going to set it on there because the ground's kind of muddy. We just got done with a huge storm here and everything melted. So we're going to set up our recording session, and we'll be right back to do that. Digital recorder on a high quality setting. So you want to put it on the high quality setting. You're simply going to hit record. We're going to do a question and answer session. Note movement. And we're going to start, you're going to hear me note a bunch of different natural sounds and so forth, which is what you always want to do during a session is note the natural sounds. So we're going to go ahead and start.
Woodpecker.
We're going to go ahead and start our recording session. It's going to be slightly tainted due to me talking, of course, but this is more of an example than capturing disembodied spirits at this time. If you press the pause button, our other recorder, our digital, is still going over there. And I'm just going to depress this. Now we're recording. Now when you're recording, you want to note on tape where you are. We're at Baker Cemetery outside of Palestine. It is approximately 4:55 p.m. And then most of the time you'll catch things right at the beginning of the recording, so you want to make sure that you pay attention to the beginning and especially the ending of the recording. So we're just going to ask some general questions at this time. You're able to see us, but we can't see them. So what we're going to say is something in the effect of, we're speaking to the spirits here that we cannot see or hear. We're not here to harm you. We're not here to send you away. We only want to talk with you. We have a few devices here that can help us do that. If you speak into either one of these recording devices, either that black box over there or this gray box here, you could also try and speak into the microphone if you like, and we'll be able to hear what you say upon playback. Now, remember, folks, this is a delayed conversation. This is not real-time recording. Okay, we're not using a spirit box right now. So at this time, you'd want to ask some questions. Could you tell us your name, note car? Are you at peace here? Note birds. Note movement. Is there anything we can do to help you? Note movement. Would you mind telling me what time it is? Do you like it here? Would you like us to leave? Okay, at this time we're going to end this session, so if you have anything that you would like to say, please come forward and do so now into one of these devices. Note movement. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we did not disturb you. And if you left anything on our devices, we'll be back to return and talk with you again. Thank you. Then gather your equipment up, and at this time you would either do another recording session, perhaps down the cemetery a little way, or in another room if you're doing a paranormal investigation. So you just make your choice, whether you want to do a stationary, a walking method, which we can show that as well, some other video. But I just wanted to put this together for you guys to give you an idea of a basic recording session and just how simple it really is. Yeah, and there you have it there. I mean, just how simple that really is right there. That is a standard EVP session, question and answer session out there at Baker, honey. And you never know what you're going to get. It's how you go into the whole thing, I think.
I believe that's
in your emotions. You know, for example, who's to say that when we go there, usually there's some kind of communication from Betsy, normally, or a little boy. But who's to say that Betsy was abused?
right. There's two sides to every story.
Mm-hmm.
That's
What
how
do
I
you?
feel.
What I mean? because you're not like psychic, but you're empathic. Which means she takes on the feelings of let's say spirits around, things of that nature. Sherry can latch onto that pretty good. It's pretty incredible to see, really. But when you're around that area, I notice a change in you. It's almost as if, I mean, you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
You're very happy when you're in there.
Comforting.
And it's almost as if you're getting messages and things or feelings that, of course, I can't feel. I just go in there, hey, what's up? I desensitize myself, I think, more than anything. And I need to become more open like that. But I'm just so stuck in that scientific mind.
Well,
In that,
okay.
yeah, yeah, maybe one day. But like you said, there's two sides to the whole thing.
Yep.
And who's to say that she wasn't abused, and that's why she poisoned the guy's tea? It's not just something you just don't wake up and
Poison somebody's tea.
I'm gonna poison his tea.
No.
Life doesn't work that way. Things have to evolve.
And didn't you say that she was the first woman that was hung on
Mm-hmm.
the courthouse lawn up here?
No, not here. She was the first woman hung in Illinois.
First woman hung in Illinois.
Yeah, first woman hung in Illinois. So that place is just, and there's a lot of other history there too. There's some veterans in that cemetery. Just it's an interesting place, and it's a good place for me. And like I recommend all other new people coming into this field, get used to being around death. Get used to that first. I have to get used to that all over again, because with that comes the emotion, comes the feelings, comes the tension, comes all these different things. So you want to be familiar and be around it, be comfortable with it. That way you can work comfortably in there. And Randy's got a comment here. Always go into an investigation open but skeptical. Always be respectful to the spirits, and they will communicate and be respectful back to you. Absolutely, Randy. And thank you, Michael. Your intent, passion, and vibes are so important. Absolutely.
Yep.
You get back what you put in, just like with any other effort that you do. The craft of EVP is an effort, and it takes work. It takes time. Takes patience, but once you get it down, you've got it, and then it changes. So be prepared for change, because everything evolves. And when we get into some classifications and things, it's the classification is simple. ABC classification system. It was developed by Sarah Tom Butler many years ago. And it's simple. Now, Mark, our show producer here, folks.
Yes.
Him and I are actually working on changing that system, updating that system.
Beautiful.
And there's a lot of work going into that. Mark is an absolute genius when it comes to a lot of these things. And hopefully these changes will take effect, because it needs to be modernized. It needs to be upgraded.
It does.
It's something that just needs to catch up with the equipment we currently have and the technology we currently have. And yeah, like Evelyn said here, EVP is like a fine art. Yes. It really is. It takes time. And she says, nothing wrong with being scientific. With Sherry's high empathic nature, you both are a beautiful blend. Bingo. Aww. See?
Yin and yang.
Yin and yang. And with classifying your recordings, that's where it gets frustrating, because everybody wants that class A. Everybody wants that, hey, check this out.
Undeniable.
Yeah, undeniable. And I like I said, I've been doing this several decades, and I have one that I consider a class A, honey, and several class Bs, which, class A is unmistakable. Like I said, a class B is one of those where you can hear certain words or phrases, but you can't make out what they're saying, or they're impassable. It's just garble, but it's loud. The amplification, isn't needed. It's loud. a good Class B is going to be like that. A Class C is going to be a lot of your delicate whispers.
Yeah. We've gotten a lot of those.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
And those are just as important. Most
Really?
people, honey, they'll delete them.
Really? No, we keep those.
You hang on to those because wait for technology to catch up. People are out there like Tony. We had Tony on last week talking about, or the week before last, talking about Staticom 3.0. They can extract things out of the noise and get the voice.
Wow. Yes.
So who's to say
that whisper
can't be extracted one day and amplified properly to where we can hear and understand what it says and means. So Class C's are just as important. Those are the ones you're going to get most, folks. And it can be not a paranormal whisper. You can debunk them very easily. Look at this. Just that little sound there. If you listen to that more than 5 times, you're going to make out a word in that due to pareidolia.
Yes. So
be aware, know what to look for. And we've got a show coming up here in the next few weeks where we're going to do some more software analysis. That way you guys can see what an EVP looks like, not just what it sounds like, what it looks like, kind of dive in deep there. But what we're going to do real quick is take this break. When we come back, we're going to get more into the classification and how to properly share your evidence, where to share it, how to share it, and the ethics behind sharing it. Basically, folks, get some thick skin out there. Be transparent, because that's what we are. We're wide open to receive. So be wide open to receive. So hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment. More with Sherry and I here on EVP Explorations. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Introducing The Haunted Voice by Todd Bates, a powerful autobiography that takes you on an unforgettable journey through life's darkest struggles and most hopeful triumphs. From working as a corrections officer to finding himself behind bars, Todd's story dives deep into the battle against alcoholism and addiction, revealing the raw, unfiltered truths of hitting rock bottom. But this is not just a story of despair. It's a story of redemption, recovery, and hope. As a seasoned paranormal investigator and EVP specialist, Todd also opens the door to his chilling experiences with the supernatural, weaving together tales of the paranormal with deeply personal revelations. The Haunted Voice isn't just a book, it's a lifeline for those seeking recovery, a guide for those facing their own demons, and a treasure for paranormal enthusiasts. Available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple Books, The Haunted Voice makes the perfect gift for anyone looking for inspiration, guidance, or simply an incredible story. Order your copy today and discover the voice that refuses to be silenced. Recording tip. During a group EVP recording session, designate one EVP specialist to conduct the session. During the live session, the designated EVP specialist may shine a flashlight on the person they designate to ask the next question.
Bottom of the hour, welcome back. EVP Explorations Live. I'm your host, Todd Bates. This is my beautiful Sherry. And those of you just joining us, we're talking about EVP classification, and we showed an awesome video, kind of how to do a session and everything tonight. That when Sherry and I went out to Baker Cemetery, a local cemetery here. And if you guys missed that, don't worry. You can watch it again on YouTube or Facebook or sacredspiralnetwork.com, EVPexplorations.com, all those different places, Podbean, Apple, all of them. You guys can catch the show there. Or the best place to catch it if you miss it is the website, because you can watch it again. You can listen to it again. You can go up there, take some free courses. Yes, pause, chill, have a good time. So be sure to check out the new website as well. And thank you, Jake. My goodness, congrats, he says to you guys.
Thanks.
It's awesome. Yeah. And those of you that's joining us, Sherry and I recently got engaged. It was yesterday, and we're extremely happy about it. It's been a fun ride.
thanks. Yeehaw. I'm ready for the
Yeah.
rest of it.
Yeah. A lot more good stuff to come. But getting into analyzing your evidence, if you guys have any questions, post those in the comments. If you have anything to add to what we're talking about tonight with EVP classification, please put that in the comments. Those are permanent. They stay there. I don't go in there and delete them. They are for people to learn later. So it's important. The more comments, the better. So be sure, like the thing, comment, all that fun stuff. Now, with classifications, honey, it gets tough. You're sitting there at your computer and you're analyzing your evidence for hours on end. And again, take breaks, folks. Take breaks.
yes.
Listen to these things for 5-10 minutes, then put them away. Put them away. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to use earbuds. Okay. I want to stress this. You want to use over the ear. Now, if you can afford them, get the noise canceling headphones. I know the new earbuds have noise canceling. It's not the same, folks. It's not the same. Things slip in. Use over the ear when you're analyzing any kind of audio recording. It's going to make a difference of night and day, because it's going to make you document that correctly as a stomach growl and not a demon. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Thank you, Evelyn. she said congrats.
Thank you, Evelyn.
So use those. And folks, I'll tell you again, I'm not the end all be all when it comes to electronic voice phenomenon. I've just been doing this a long time. I've been out I've screwed up, and I have written some things so you can learn from my mistakes and what not to do, because I have done a lot of wrong things in this field. And you have to do that in order to succeed, I feel, because you have to find where you fit into the field. Like, for example, Sherry is not very familiar with electronic voice phenomenon, how it works. So coming into this field, she's fresh, she's new, she's untainted, which means she is the ideal person that I would sit and teach everything I know to, because she will absorb it like a sponge, and she'll be able to apply it in the way it needs to be applied. It's not just something willy-nilly. You just don't grab a recorder, let's go, okay. It's not like that. You've got to do a lot of planning. You got to do some prepping and things.
Even your own attitude before going out.
Yeah.
Happy's better.
Just like the recording tip just said here, folks. If you are angry, like, for example, if Sherry and I had an argument, a little spat, we just wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. You set it out. Just set it out. You don't want to bring those kind of feelings or that kind of energy into any active haunted location. You just don't want to do it. It's stirring the pot. It's not a good thing to do. And Katie has got a comment here. On one investigation, one of our team recorded his own stomach growl. It sounded like Satan himself.
That's hilarious. Thank you for sharing. That's hilarious.
And you get that, which is important. Bring snacks.
Yes.
Keep it full or keep it empty. Don't keep it half full or half empty. It's gonna gurgle. So it's one of the other little things. I'm not saying, let's go on a diet, honey. We got to get it serious about it. It's not like that. Just use common sense, and learn the difference between a stomach growl and Satan himself. And Stanley adds, invest in a good pair. You'll be glad you did. Absolutely, Stanley. If you can afford noise cancellation, fantastic. Get noise cancellation headphones. If you can't afford them, save for them. Because that, in this field, what I've learned, honey, you get what you pay for. And there's a lot of shady equipment out there that can throw false positives your way. And it's how you set it on your device. It's how you set it on your software program. all of your settings, everything you do to it, any little change alters that thing. If you're not careful, it will alter it. What I like to do to the EVP is enhance it when you're analyzing it and classifying it as well. It's you can't sit there and turn a class B into a class A.
What do you mean by enhance?
Okay. When you alter, a lot of people do what are called noise reductions. They do hiss reductions, and it makes the file sound tinny. So if you guys are out in internet land listening to an EVP and it sounds like it's talking and echoing inside of a tin can,
Yes.
it's been overcorrected.
Oh,
See,
interesting.
they figure if they remove all the noise, then the EVP will surface. That's not correct. It's not correct. The EVP is in the noise. It uses the noise, the signal, to manifest. I feel. That's my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah.
When I process a file, I enhance it. I may amplify it, turn it up, is all I'm doing, is turning it up, making it a level enhancement. Okay. So I'm just not going to turn it up like this. I'm going to turn it up to where the entire file is at the same level. See? And we'll do that in future shows.
Okay.
But I'll do that and I'm just enhancing it. I'm just making it sound better.
Better to your own ears.
Making it easier to process.
Sure.
So, like I said, you can't take a Class A. And I'm going to play some examples here in just a second of Class A, B, and C EVP. But you can't take a Class B and turn it into a Class A. If you don't understand it initially, you can't. You just can't understand it, folks. You're just going to have to be transparent, tough skin, and say, do one of two things. Okay, I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough experience to properly classify this. I know there's a couple words in here that I can make out. I just can't make out the entire phrase. I need help. Go get it.
Yes.
Go get it. Don't just sit there. I'm just going to put it in a file on my desktop. Go get some freaking help.
Yes, we're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll help you. I mean, this is important stuff. This is communication. This is delayed conversation with spirit. This is not real time. So we have plenty of time. Plenty of time. We're not on a TikTok when it comes to this. We can have plenty of patience. So having your file and sharing it is extremely important. We're going to touch more on that here in a little while before we close the show out. But I want to give you some examples. The only Class A that I feel I possess, and you guys may hear different as well. I don't know. I mean, all I know is 12 people without me suggesting anything heard what this old lady was saying.
Wow.
And if you don't, folks, it's quite all right. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to kick sand. I'm not going to quit. Okay. It is what it is. But this is a Class A. This was captured on a bridge in Vincennes, Indiana, several years ago. And it was a stationary session. There were no questions asked. The recorder was placed at the front of the bridge, and we simply walked away from the area and captured this little old lady.
Hello. 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 That creeps me out, man.
That one scares her to death. It does. It creeps her out. And it is a creepy capture. It is a creepy capture. But that would be what I would call a Class A. And it's the little old lady's just saying hello. It's plain, it's simple, it's quick, it's to the point. And that's what it is.
It's there.
Now, with the Class A, these are easier to share because people are proud of these. They're like, hey, people can hear what it says. Let's share it. And that's great. Use that as motivation. But share your Class Bs too. Mm-hmm. Because people may hear something different than what you hear. And that's extremely important. That is extremely important. And a Class B example, like I said, is when you can hear a couple words and then you just can't make out the rest. Now, this particular file here that I'm going to play, this Class B, this was captured on a digital recorder beyond years ago when Audition was still called Cool Edit, and I was just learning it. And this is also an excellent example of an overcorrected file. So what you're going to hear is a Class B with this. You're going to be able to make out some words. You're going to be able to hear that it's a female. But then you're going to hear some tinning that I was telling you about. And I'm going to switch something here so Sherry can hear it as well. Let me switch something out here. There we go. So when I play this, you're going to hear a conversation, and then you're going to hear some overcorrection, and you're going to hear another conversation. But I can't make out. If you folks can make out what this is saying, for the love of everything holy, please email me, Todd Bates at EVPExplorations.com. Please. Because I have been baffled by this one for years. Huh?
I'm interested to hear.
And here it is, folks. This was captured at the Sally House, by the way. That one, folks, has baffled me for so many years. And after so many years of listening to this, I hear, all I hear is the name Jill.
Huh.
I don't hear any other word. I don't hear any other phrase. But this was captured in the dining room at the Sally House, almost as if two spirits were having it's possibly residual. Two spirits were having a conversation.
That's what it sounds like.
Aside from us being there. And yeah. And Donna Tilly says, I hear you want a beer.
Okay. I'm with that one too.
And Nicole, hey, Nicole
Hey,
Tito. My
Nicole.
goodness, we're going to be getting her on the show soon too. She says, wow, this is so clear and loud. Is that the only time you got her voice? Yes. Yes. I have tried and tried to reconnect. That's why I think so much that is residual, because that was a stationary session as well. Anytime I capture an EVP, if I'm doing a question and answer session, I will leave the question before the response. But if I'm doing a stationary, I'm not going to sit here and play dead silence for you folks. I'm just going to put the EVP in there. That's all. That's all I do. And then Randy says he'll run it through his new program. Thank you, Randy. That would be fantastic. Shoot me an email, Todd Bates at EVPExplorations.com. I'll send over a copy. We'll get to work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And we've got spam. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So with that file, that Class B, again, we can't turn that file into a Class A. Let's say down the road, technology, the way it's rolling, it just decides to, someone like Tony comes up with a system that we can run our EVP through, and it processes it to where we can hear it. That still doesn't make it a Class A.
Really?
No, it was captured as a B. You have to classify as it was captured and documented, folks. Beautiful. You cannot change your mind. You cannot change its mind. No matter how clear that is after analysis, it is a Class B. You have to go by when it was captured. That's just being fair.
True.
That's being fair with both the spirit world and our world. Yeah. You know, the same. And Randy has got a comment here. He says, I've been intrigued by the Sally House since the sightings episodes in the 90s. Do you feel that place is legitimately haunted?
I've got some feelings about it. I was
Randy,
never there.
My friend, I do. I do think it's haunted. I've been there. I can't count how many times I've been. I've been there before they turned it into a bed and breakfast. At the moment, Randy, I feel the place is dormant. I think it's feeding. I think it's ready to pop at any given moment. So many strange things have happened in there. When I've been doing a lot of experimentation out there with static, white noise, pink noise, all these different noises I was using out there, developing the background noises, and the tension that you would feel in this place when that was generated. It was insane. And that's where I saw my first apparition, was the Sally House. 3 of us. It was collective. We all 3 saw it. So these are things that stick in my mind and turn me more to believing in the afterlife, believing there's life after death, believing that there is a higher power in general. Something is controlling all this. Something's animating it. Something's filtering it. Because we're not getting direct communication, honey. We're not able to, in the EVP world, say, hey, can I help you? And get an immediate response in the EVP world. That's not how it works. It's delayed. It's always delayed. And that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. ITC is real time. But some of those are false positives as well. Every form of communication has its flaws. Ouijas, dowsing rods, they all have their flaws and skepticism. But once you have a personal experience with one of those tools, one of those devices,
Can't be denied.
Can't be. It just can't be. Because I was 100% skeptic. I was skeptical about being skeptical. It was so bad, folks. And I would mock so much of this. You have an experience, it kicks your ass. And you change.
Yep.
I became completely obsessed. Sherry, thankfully, keeps me on a nice leash when it comes to this stuff, to where I don't hop in and, okay, honey, we're going to Kansas.
No.
I don't do that anymore. I've matured since then. I've evolved since then. I've gained more experience since then. And I know I haven't been out in the field in a long time, folks. I'm well aware of that.
A little bit too.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah, matured.
Yeah. Mature.
I haven't been out there in a long time, several years. But you know what? I've been there and done that 1,000 times over. And that stays with you no matter what. And I have chosen to share that experience, my experiences, with everybody to teach you so you don't go out there and make the same mistakes and waste your time classifying and analyzing these files, because they can take you down. They can get the best of you if you let it. Don't let it. Fight it. Walk away from it. It's important. But most important is classifying them correctly, being honest, being respectful, being genuine when you're doing your sessions. That's what's important. That's how you get the best data and the best results.
Yep.
Respect. It goes everywhere. It goes hand in hand anytime you're in the field. You don't go poking a bear. You don't go poking and prodding something that will genuinely kick your ass. You don't want to do it. I promise you. I've seen people flipped up in the air, for crying out loud. It's insane. It's crazy at what can happen at any given moment. So always be on guard. Have that in the back of your mind. And when you classify and share these with other people, please take what they say to heart. They're trying to help you. They're not trying to hurt you. If they're making fun of you, they're a troll. If they're a troll, it doesn't matter what they say. Let them troll. That's what trolls do. That's where you get that transparency, that tough skin. It's troll. And then you just pick out what you can out of there and what you need for the advice. And then maybe you can properly analyze your EVP, but ask for help. And like I said, by all means, don't store these things. Don't hide them from the world.
Share.
And I know that people take things and make them their own. Boy, do I know that, folks. But you know what? You are you. And let them take that as It's flattery. Okay. Don't take that personally. They take your things because they're too lazy or not experienced enough to deal with it on their own. Fakes are going to be spotted. They're a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with what's real. Stick with what's genuine. Stick with what makes sense to you. But take the time to learn. Take the time to learn. And Stanley's got a comment. It really gets personal when they say your name. Now that's cool. Yes, sir. When you develop a relationship with the spirit, like you are in a way with Betsy, developing that connection.
Yeah.
To where tunnel vision. Sherry is more open, and I wish I could be that way. And hopefully you folks are. Go out there with that open, broad mind and look at your surroundings. Take all of it in.
That's correct.
Don't get the tunnel vision enough to where you're straight to your recorder or straight to your ITC device. No, absorb.
Feel the vibes that you just feel the energy.
And then put those back out there.
Yep.
They're totally recyclable. Okay, give them a shot. And Randy says, I'd love for you to join me in July 26th when I go to Gettysburg. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Now, that sounds fun, Randy. Good luck with that. Let me block this person here. Hang on. No, they're trying to give us a tarot reading for free, folks.
We're not going to do that tonight.
No tarot
show.
We're going to be actually shutting this down here in just a few. But what I want to do, I want to take a moment. If you guys have any final questions or comments about classification, anything you want to add for me to put up on screen here for people to learn, any kind of advice you can give a new person coming into this field on the importance of sharing our data. We used to, and we can again, push the followers, push the film crews aside, get back to what's real, get back to researching death. That is what we do. That is what we do. Get back to that and create a good foundation, create a good practice out there. It's so important because you have to remember as an investigator, especially if you're a veteran investigator, you must lead by example. You really must. You can't sit here and make fun of anybody that's new. You were there once. You fell in those open graves because you weren't paying attention. You were there once too. Help them, guide them for the love of everything holy. Share things with them because they're not going to do you or anybody else any good dead. Share them. And Katie's got a final comment here. I hear my name sometimes. One time a voice kept saying Kathy over and over again. Only my family and a few old friends. Most of my family has passed. One time a male voice said what sounded like, damn it, Kathy. It reminded me of my brother who passed years ago. And Kathy, use that as a sign. Try to get in tune. If that sounded like your brother, it probably was. Yeah. So try to keep that in check, keep that in tune. That's what I've learned to do. It's get in touch with my spiritual side.
Sure. When
it comes to, especially EVP recording, you get in touch with that, folks, your results are going to skyrocket because of what you put out. Because it seems to attract when you ground yourself, when when you're fearless is such a strong word. You're not fearless. You are just not afraid of going out there and doing it. On the other side of that's courage, damn it.
Yes.
So get out there and try. Don't let these places scare you.
Right.
Be cautious, but don't be scared.
Right.
Don't be scared. And Stanley's got a great point. Try not to enhance an original recording too much. It will add a haziness to it. Mm-hmm. Yes, Stanley. Just like that hello EVP you guys heard, that Class A, that is not touched in any way, shape, or form. It was only converted to an MP3 for sharing. That's all. less is more with analysis. Less is more with classification as well. You know, don't overcomplicate it, but don't falsify it either. It's important. Now, we're going to close the show out. Next week, we've got Software Analysis 101 coming up. That's going to be coming up the week after next. Next week, we're covering magnetic versus digital recording, the big debate.
Interesting.
We're going to be talking about that, playing some examples and things, taking your questions and comments. If you guys, anybody out there that wants to come on the show and talk about EVP, talk about magnetic versus digital, shoot me an email. We'll send you a backstage. You can come back and join us on the show and discuss it. The more the merrier. I mean, we're trying to get to the bottom of this stuff.
Yes.
So it's important. Thank you, Randy. He says, not fearless, but not afraid. That is brilliant. Yes, sir. Thank you. And on that note, we are going to skate off here, get this set here, and join us next week, same time, Friday, 8 Eastern, or 8 Central, 9 Eastern, for more EVP Explorations. Check out the website, evpexplorations.com. And a big thanks to Miss Kelly Brickle and Sacred Spiral Network for hosting us as well. And a huge thanks to all of you. Thanks to you, my love.
Thank you.
For coming on here.
Bye, everyone.
This is a memory I'll never forget, folks. Have a great weekend. Take care.